Hello, brethren, companions, and friends. Welcome to the Working Tools Podcast, the podcast where we explore all things Freemasonry, from its history and symbolism to its modern practice, education, and understanding. I'm your host, worshipful brother, and excellent companion, Stephen Nagy. And today, we're going to be exploring a very interesting subject, some that many brethren are aware of, some are curious about, and a few brethren might even find a little mysterious. Today, we're going to be talking about installed Masters Lodges. Now, this episode is brought to you by the Learning and Development team here at Surrey Freemasons, whose aim it is to support Masons across the province by encouraging learning, reflection, and a deeper understanding of the craft. So, let's take a calm and considered look at what an installed Masters Lodge is, and why they exist, and why they continue to play an important role in Freemasonry today. At its simplest, an installed Masters Lodge is a lodge whose membership is drawn primarily from brethren who have served as worshipful master of a craft lodge. It's important to say from the outset that an installed Masters Lodge is not intended to replace a brother's mother lodge, nor is it an exclusive or an elite body. Instead, it exists as a complementary space built around shared experience, fellowship, and service to the wider craft. These lodges usually meet less frequently than regular lodges, and their emphasis tends to be on learning and discussion, supporting the province and its lodges, maintaining standards, and making good use of experience gained in the chair. Here in Surrey, we are particularly fortunate. The province has 6 installed Masters Lodges, each offering a welcoming environment where experience and education come together in a relaxed and thoughtful way. Mastership is open to current or former installed masters, but this is an important point to stress. Any brother may attend as a guest. I myself have been to a few. These lodges are not closed or inward-looking. They're very much connected to the life of the province and keen to encourage engagement. Their meetings are slightly different from those of most craft lodges, with the exception of an installation. There are no ceremonies worked. Instead, they focus on learning, discussion, and fellowship. Guest speakers remember to be a key feature, including past Prestonian Lectures, and the range of subjects covered is impressively broad. Topics have included the work of Commonwealth War Graves Commission, insights into Formula One, and explorations of the Irish and Scottish constitutions. These evenings are consistently interesting, thought-provoking, and genuinely enjoyable, and they are well worth attending, whether you are an installed master yourself or simply a brother with a curiosity for learning. Now, why do installed Masters Lodges exist? Once a brother has completed his year in the chair, something changes. The pressure of office may ease, but the responsibility does not disappear. What replaces it is perspective. Installed Masters Lodges exist to provide a space where that experience can be shared, preserved, and put to good use. Historically, these lodges developed to ensure that knowledge and good practice were not lost. Once a worshipful master stepped down, before formal learning programs and online platforms, this was how standards were maintained. through conversation, example, and collective memory. As Freemasonry expanded and lodges became more numerous, the need for continuity and stability became clear. Installed masters were naturally looked to as mentors and advisors and custodians of tradition. Installed masters' lodges emerged not as governing bodies but as supportive ones, places where experience could quietly strengthen the craft without overshadowing it. This distinction is important. These lodges are about service, not authority. Now, a few common misconceptions addressed. There are a few myths worth addressing. First, that the installed masters' lodges are exclusive, or they are selective only by qualification, not by status, or that they may be secretive. In reality, they tend to be some of the most open and relaxed environments in Freemasonry, precisely because those attending have nothing left to prove. And finally, that some may consider them as old-fashioned or irrelevant. In truth, in times of change, experience becomes more valuable, not less. Now, the value to the craft today, in modern Freemasonry, where worshipful masters face increasing demands on their time and energy, installed masters' lodges provide something invaluable. They act as a sounding board, a source of reassurance, and a reservoir of practical wisdom. They remind us that leadership in Freemasonry is not about position, but about ongoing service. Now, a little word to future worshipful masters. If you're listening to this and you have not yet taken the chair, it's worth keeping this in mind. Becoming an installed master is not an ending, it's a transition. It marks the point where your role shifts from leading to supporting, from doing to guiding, and from responsibility to stewardship. Installed masters' lodges exist to honor that transition and ensure the experience gained in the chair continues to benefit the craft. Now, as a bit of a closing reflection, installed masters' lodges remind us that Freemasonry is not built on single years of service, but on lifetimes of contribution. They stand as quiet anchors within the craft, steady, thoughtful, and rooted in experience. Now, if this episode has helped clarify their purpose or perhaps encouraged you to attend one as a guest, then it has done exactly what it set out to do. If you've enjoyed this episode, please remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube or Spotify or both. It really helps others discover the podcast. And I'd like to say a big thank you for listening. And remember, the working tools are in your hands. What will you build?